Quick disclaimer, these damages probably have been caused by too little oil in the oil pan, since we picked the car up with 1.5 liters missing even before showing on the dipstick. So that could have been the issue. Okay, so we've shown you the NB before, but yeah, we've encountered a problem because I have started the car, or tried to start it, a few days ago, and it made some bad sounds, and yeah, then I decided to drain the oil, and that was what came out of it. Okay, so now we're taking apart the engine that's, well, let's say, a bit hurt. And yeah, first of all, the valve cover. Okay, so under the valve cover it doesn't look too great. I know that this engine hasn't had a good service life, so it's kind of black. You can also see that on the cams. They are, when they didn't touch the lifters, they are pretty black right here. I think what went wrong with the engine was either the oil pump or maybe the oil pickup tube was blocked. We'll see that when we take off the oil pan. And yeah, but that doesn't look too promising. Let's take it that way. Okay, next we're taking off the timing equipment and stuff, because that has to get off before we take off the head. Timing belt looks relatively okay, considering probably has been changed only once, I guess. Alright, moment of kind of truth. Taking the head off. Oh my god. It was a bit stuck. Smells like burnt oil already. Okay. Alter. Okay, pistons look surprisingly clean. Okay. We have a bit of oil in the cylinders. That's basically from the valve stem seals, probably dripping down. Everything else looks pretty good. Alright, so looking at the head gasket, sealing rings look fine, so we had no head gasket issues, which was clear to begin with, so yeah, that's pretty obvious. What we can see though, we have quite a bit of oil coking, especially here on cylinder 4. And here's also a bit, and yeah, on the exhaust valves as well. But you can also see the engine didn't get too hot, which is alright, I guess. And everything else looks pretty okay. So the head doesn't look that bad from the other side. Aside from looking very black on the camshaft side, this side is fine. Looking on the stock pistons, they look very good as well. If you would have some knock, there would be pitting around here or around there, but that looks very good. Same thing here. I have done some engine flush, that's probably why they are looking this clean. That's the worst one for looks, but also here no knocking. And that's also cylinder 4, so that one would be the worst one for heat. As for the cross hatching goes, that's also pretty good still. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but yeah, also looks pretty good. Okay, so the bad news are the honing, the cross hatching looks good on this side, but here you can see some scoring marks. They're pretty bad. You can't feel them with your fingers, but I think I would still have to overbore the cylinders. Same in this one. Cylinder 2 looks about the same, maybe even a bit worse, and cylinder 3, yeah, looks also pretty bad. My theory is that the block was apart once before, and they maybe did new piston rings and new cross hatching, but the problem was the block was already worn out too much. And then, yeah, we had some. I mean, the play on the pistons isn't that bad, but still doesn't look great. Okay, so with the scoring in the cylinders, I still thought, yeah, it's not that deep. You can maybe hone it out and get the car running again. But then we found this. Wait a second, I'm pushing on the... And when I'm pushing on the crankshaft, normally there should be a play of about, like, I don't know, 1/10 of a millimeter. And now that's... yeah. Yeah, well, I'll probably see you when the oil pan is off, and we're gonna have some fun, I guess. And yeah, that's okay, so those are the thrust bearings. Hope you can see it. Yeah, that one was in the oil pan, and that one was in the, yeah, in the that metal sheet metal in between the crankshaft and the oil pan. Yeah. Also doesn't look that good, is also bent, and yeah, I want to see what the rod bearings and main bearings look like. The funny thing is though, the engine turns really freely, relatively. I can press on the pistons and they move quite easily. Yep, that was first first rod cap with the bearing. I'm not gonna show you yet. I'm gonna loosen the rest. That one is a bit loose. That one is okay, but not perfect. All right. Alright, so I have the pistons and the rods out, and we're gonna look at them first. I'm gonna say the engine probably was out at some point because they look very clean. This engine has like around 80 to 90,000 miles on it, which is around 140,000 kilometers. For context, that was in an engine that had around 60,000 miles, and it looks way worse, like from... like not from a wear standpoint, but from a standpoint of dirtiness, I guess. You can also look in there. Yeah, you can see much more oil residue. Where on those, the insides also look pretty good. Like not dirty at all. Same as the sides of the piston skirts. They look way better as well. yeah. You can also see on this one, the piston was contacting, if the camera will focus. As you can see here, I hope you can see it at least, the cylinder wall was contacting the piston, or rather the piston was contacting the cylinder wall quite badly. You can see it especially good on this one. Right here, there is some scoring on the piston itself, like on the top. I don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, there are some scoring marks. As for where on the bearings go, they don't look, nothing is spun, but yeah, the wear is quite, yeah. Some of the bearings are even somewhat thinner, I think. I'm not sure though, but the wear is definitely on the worse side. I have seen worse when the bearing is even like flattened out. That didn't happen here yet that much. Or I would say didn't happen at all, but they still don't look good at all. For context, I have pulled out the bearings on my 250,000 kilometer, which is 150,000 mile engine, and they look basically, yeah, almost brand new, and they didn't even have any scoring on them, and those look just bad. Yeah. Yeah, so much for that. Oh, jetzt stinkt's. Okay, first main bearing doesn't look too good. Second one also doesn't, or like the third and fourth one look kind of bad. First one, yeah, they all look kind of bad. Second one. Yeah, top bearings, yeah, they don't look as bad as the top bottom ones, but they also don't look that good. They have some wear marks. Alright, so as I said, the bearings look, well, they don't look that terrible, but they are definitely have wear marks. But the biggest problem is the crankshaft, where the thrust bearings were, is, I hope you can see it, it has basically worn down the metal of the crankshaft. So yeah, that's not gonna go back in there. We're probably gonna swap to a 1.6 because I have 2 blocks laying around for that, and we're gonna forge that. So yeah, this engine is completely toast. The only thing we could salvage would be the pistons. So yeah, and the oil pump maybe, because that one doesn't look damaged as well. Yeah, that's some carnage, I guess. And yeah, look forward to forging a 1.6 engine. See you next time.